So it's almost like I engineered an event where I would collaborate with people who were going to be my detractors, and I knew it. I worked over their audience. I got exposed to a wider audience in a positive light for the first time in many years. I gained extra support for myself, which is all I ever wanted. With that extra support, I then was able to upgrade my setup. And then as soon as I didn't need them anymore, because I knew they were toxic douchebags who were going to fucking ruin everything for everyone, I cut the cord. Urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you're not DSP. And oh my goodness, you know what this made me think about? You know, for many of us who are prescribed medications by our doctor, we have to take them at certain intervals or they'll begin to lose their potency. And this is what Phil is doing here. He's administering his Pignosis elixir not only to his dents, but to himself, because he knows if he doesn't, it's going to begin to lose potency. So this whole segment right here, even though he's talking to detractors, what he's really doing is giving his dents the official story that they can take out into the world. This reminds me a lot of people who are caught up in a left-right paradigm when it comes to politics. You know, they don't even form their own opinions. They'll go to the talking head and see what their opinion is, and then they'll parrot that person's opinion, because personality worship is at an all-time high, and it's pathetic. So let's get into it.
Here's the deal with the marathon, right? Here's what's actually been going on that I feel is actually a positive thing. In the last year, support for my regular streams has skyrocketed. What do I mean by that? I mean that I'm regularly hitting my goals now. Like, it's actually more of a rarity that I don't hit a support goal than that I do.
Now, for those who are paying attention, all this really is his attempt at retconning why his marathons are now doing terrible. This is really what this is about, but I'm gonna let him continue.
And it didn't used to be like that, all right? It used to be, wow, it's rare if I actually hit the full goal. And because of that, things were tighter. I couldn't afford to just buy a whole bunch of games on a whim whenever I wanted to. I couldn't buy a new accessory or thing that I needed for my setup, right? I couldn't do the things I needed to do and have the financial freedom because I just wasn't making enough to do that.
Now, we know that's not true. And I have to highlight these things because he likes to gloss over them because he's trying to get to a point. But contextually, he's leaving things out. It's very convenient to say, I just couldn't afford them, when you should be telling the people why you couldn't afford them. And it wasn't because people were not supporting you, Phil. That's not the case at all, because we can even go back to your Twitch days when the whole streamer, streamer income thing got leaked or whatever. And wasn't darksydephil numero uno on that list in terms of how much money he got per person? Pretty sure that was the case, right? So you've always made money, Phil. It's just what you've been doing with that money is the problem.
Now I am. All right. And again, thank you so much. If ever there was a time, a month to say thank you, it's Thanksgiving month here in the United States. Thank you all for doing this for me.
Look how pathetic this is. Phil, look at yourself, man. Look at your body language. You're sitting here praying and groveling to these people. And this is your idea of a successful business plan, and we all want to be you, right? Like, come on, man.
We're doing this very positive thing for me and my family in the last year and up in the levels of support. You guys are amazing. All right. So here's the thing. Because my normal streams are doing so well regularly, I mean, we're hitting goals. We're doing multiple DSP tries in a week at this point, right? Now, when I do a marathon, okay, it's just not that big of a deal. And what do I mean by that? Well, it used to be, well, Phil streams every day and he does okay, but he doesn't hit his goals all the time. But then when he does a marathon, that's the time when there's rallying. And Phil will usually have a giant goal set for a marathon. He'll be saying he's trying to hit $1,000 today or $2,000 today for some reason. And then his viewers will rally and support him and he'll hit and crush the goals. And oh my God, it's a celebration, right?
No, it was not a celebration. And it was never framed like that either. It was framed like people were trying to assist you in getting back on your feet. That's what the narrative was, and that's what the energy was. In fact, if you go back to some of those videos and watch him, look at the desperation in his eyes and his body language. Phil, you truly are pathetic, and you can look at every single year of your career, and you're saying the exact same things, that this year is the best year. Now, this year that you're talking about currently is the best year, and I'm sure next year you'll be talking about that year is your best year, Phil. It's the same old song and dance with this guy.
Well, now I do marathons every month. I didn't used to do that. I literally do a marathon every month now, right? It's a fun celebratory event for sure. It is. But at the same time, it's not like it used to be. You guys are supporting me so well all the time that it's not a big deal to get insane goals and rallied support when I'm doing a marathon. Like, for example, on Friday, did regulars come by and support? Yes, they did. But did they all come by and support? No.
Now, did y'all catch that? He said the regulars come by and support? Yes, they did. But he said, did all of them come by? No. How are you privy to all of the people who support you, Phil? And the only way you will be able to be privy to those things is if that number was very small. So this doesn't line up with the concept of you having thousands upon thousands of people that view you, and it's a bunch of small things from a bunch of people all over the place, right? Because that's the narrative. But here you're telling me that you use the term all, which is all encompassing, meaning you know every single last person that supports you, Phil. This is why it's so important to keep your damn mouth shut.
Some regulars were missing, and that's okay, because they're coming by during my regular streams to support my content anyway. So why do I care if they showed up for the marathon if I'm already well supported on the streams? I don't.
Now, also, did y'all catch that? He said, why would I care if they show up for the streams if they're well supported? Meaning he don't give a damn about your entertainment. He don't care about you so-called coming to quote unquote hang out with him. All he wants from you is your damn money. He just made it clear as day right there. Now, would the dents hear this? No. But for us with functional brains, he's speaking clearly right now. Now, this is one of Phil's fatal flaws. Him trying to correct and or retcon things usually makes his version of events seems worse, because all he really does is serve to muddy the waters. It's all you're doing here, because you know that the real story is far worse. So you got to come up with some type of narrative to try to convince yourself and your dents that you're doing so well and you're so happy. But that could not be further from the truth, because why else are you acting like this every day on stream, Phil? Not too long ago, you were just crying about moral support, having a whole breakdown. Now you on here talking about how great you are. It's ridiculous.
There was a time when things weren't so good, and those marathons were like key things for me and my business, that please let this marathon go well with support so that I can, make ends meet and maybe we could hit this goal and do something special. But it's not like that anymore. Now I just give you a marathon every month, regardless of the fact if we hit goals or not. We just do one anyway.
And you would be a damn fool to think that Phil does not have a financial expectation that goes beyond the pale of a regular stream. You bet your ass when he has those marathons, he is expecting to make more than he does on a regular stream, regardless of what he's saying right now.
Okay, and it's different. It just is. It's different. But the thing is, don't tell that to my detractors because they don't understand it.
Okay, now here's when things start to get interesting. Phil is addressing us directly. Why? I don't know. Who knows? I was of the belief that he was trying to starve us out. And it seems as if ever since he said that, all he's done is given us more food. Case in point. Go ahead, Phil.
They're stupid. And to them, they look at a marathon like Friday, and they'll actually say something this dumb. Ready? They'll say, Phil only made over $600 on his marathon on Friday. What a win for us. Well, first off, you have to understand how stupid they are for saying that, because guess what? I didn't just make $600. I made $600 of live stream support. I made KCIP income for people watching me on Kick. I made ad revenue for people watching me on YouTube. And all the videos also give me residuals for that marathon. So even though you may think he only made 600, well, that was 600 of crowdfunding support that day. But there was actually a lot more that was made behind the scenes that no one will know about. Okay. But in addition, you have to take a look at the week streams. I'm doing really good. The day before, for Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, I hit 3 goals. Earlier in the week, I was hitting multiple goals for multiple streams.
See, this is Phil making things up because the detractors have always said for the longest time that you make plenty of money and you're begging because you're trying to support your habits opposed to actually sustaining yourself. Now, obviously, those things have began to bleed into each other even now, right? So when you say, oh, they're talking about it's a failure of a string, well, things are relative, Phil. That's what we're getting at. And we're saying it's a failure based on the metric that you gave us. You said that you would love to make $3,000. Well, last time I checked, $600 ain't anywhere close to $3,000. So objectively speaking and using your metrics, it's a failure.
Now, admittedly, there was a couple streams that were on the slower side as well, but overall, I'm doing way better than I had been previous. So it's just hilarious because I think what it is people are in this mentality that when Phil does a marathon, people have to absolutely show up and rally thousands of dollars of support. And if not, the marathon's a failure.
No, that's your mentality. Now you're going to try to retcon that now, which is what this whole thing is about, because we know that in your head, that $3,000 number has been haunting you because you've hinted at it countless times, Phil. So all this again is relative. If a business made, I don't know, $100,000 last year and they make 80 this year, did they do bad? No. But was it as good as it was before? No. So it's relatively speaking, Phil. Nobody's saying you're over here destitute because you had a $600 stream. We're saying that according to you, it wasn't a good stream. That's it.
It couldn't be further from the truth. It used to be the marathon was my desperate attempt to raise funds. Now the marathon is literally just a celebration of success.
It's still a desperate attempt to raise funds, and it's largely the last card that you have left to play, Phil, and you know that. You know that. So you could try to frame it like, oh, I'm just giving you a marathon. What else can you give them that actually has any value? Because you're trying to frame this as if you're giving them a marathon when we know this is your last real money maker. You depend on these things. This is why you're injecting them into your schedule just because it really benefits you. Because if it really was about celebrating success, why are the leaderboards still on the screen? Why are you begging like a regular stream?
I'm already doing well, so let's just have a good time together. I'll dress up in a silly costume. We'll play the horror games you guys want to see me play. It doesn't matter how much I actually raise during the marathon because I'm already doing good.
Well, if that's the case, then why are you crying the whole marathon just like a regular stream? Are you not talking about get me drunk? Are you not trying to create arbitrary pressure by saying you can't mix coffee with alcohol, right? Because you're always trying to find ways to create pressure for them to give you money. And this is just your latest grift. But if it was what you say it is, then why are you doing all these things, Phil? And why are you addressing this? People who are doing well just do well. They're not concerned with what people are saying about them. They just go about their lives. But you have to keep turning back every single day, it seems like, and address things on the internet, even though you claim you're so happy. Now, does this behavior seem indicative of someone who's happy? Or is this behavior indicative of someone who's insecure and or lying?
But that's something that detractors won't get through their heads because they have to spin the narrative that I'm always failing, I'm always losing, I'm always broke. They have no fucking clue what they're talking about because they're all genuinely jealous. They wish they were me. They're pissed that I'm still successful, despite the fact that now it's been, over half a year since the Kino Casino stuff. I'm well removed from those jokers, and I'm still doing great.
Phil, you have to stop with this. If you really ever hope to really amass or gather any real audience outside of this twisted individuals that you have now, nobody, and I'm telling you, Phil, nobody wants to be you. What about you is desirable to where people will want to remove themselves from their own lives and assume yours? Your broken down house, your gambling addiction, your alcoholism, your narcissism. Which trait are we jealous of?
In fact, it was hilarious because the other day someone came on the stream and was starting to freak out. They were like, you never had any success until Kino Casino. You never, just regular streams weren't doing well. You weren't hitting your goals. And I'm like, so it's almost like I engineered an event where I would collaborate with people who were going to be my detractors, and I knew it. I worked over their audience. I got exposed to a wider audience in a positive light for the first time in many years. I gained extra support for myself, which is all I ever wanted. With that extra support, I then was able to upgrade my setup. And then as soon as I didn't need them anymore because I knew they were toxic douchebags who were going to fucking ruin everything for everyone, I cut the cord.
Here's why this doesn't make sense, even beyond the obvious reasons why this doesn't make sense. He said he linked up with the Kino Casino with the plan of being exposed to a more positive audience. But then on the daily, he goes about the business of calling them toxic holdovers from the Kino Casino. Doesn't he always, when he addressed the Kino Casino audience or he's talking about them, speaks about them in a negative way? Now all of a sudden they were positive. You see how the tides will turn and certain events in the story will shift when it's convenient for him. And this is why people will never believe the things that you say, Phil, even if they are true, because you have a history of just lying about things, even dumb shit, even dumb things, because your ego is so fragile and you're so afraid of your narcissism being wounded. You don't like to lick your own wounds. This is why when you think somebody's close to wounding you, you start to lash out. Talking about you came up with this plan to snake PPP and all this madness. Phil, you were desperate. That's why that came about, is because you didn't have anything left in your little bitty bag of tricks and you were desperate. And you were so desperate that you were willing to forgo everything that you ever told your dents about your positivity, how you don't like drama, how you're different from everybody else. All that shit was out the window when there was a bag in front of you. So ain't nobody trying to hear this self-righteous nonsense, especially not from you.
I dumped them and I flushed them like a dirty fucking turd. And now I'm doing well for myself, far removed from their toxic bullshit. It's almost like I robbed the casino just like I said I did, and I'm winning. And you can't cope. So you see, then you're angry. Oh, you see, his marathon didn't do well, but it did. But it did.
Phil, you're the one coping here because you have to over-explain something as if people actually care. People look at you in passing on the way to the things that they actually care about, Phil. You're not that important. You just think you are because in the realm of your dents, you're God to them. But to us, you're just another peasant, bro. You're nothing. You're useless. This is why you don't have any friends, because what real man is going to want to be around you more than 5 seconds? And even if he was your friend, he can't introduce you to his friends because he'll be embarrassed of you, Phil. You're a damn joke. That's the part you don't understand. So why you sit here talking about what the detractors don't get, what you really should be doing is thanking PPP for saving your damn dying career, bro. Because you were on your way out. It was rough and you were pulling out all the stops. That's part of the reason why you forced your wife on string, because you didn't know what to do. Right, Phil? The same reason why you had a $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it was, fundraiser to see your cat, because you needed money and you didn't have anything of value to really offer anyone. So you had to use sleight of hand to get what you needed. You're pathetic.
Sure, I didn't raise $5,000, but all my other streams are doing great. That stream did good. Dude, I raised 4 goals of support in one stream and then some. How can you say that it's bad unless you're actually stuck in the head and you actually believe anything? Because you just can't cope with the fact that I'm smarter than you and I fucking fooled your ass for 7 months. And now I'm good. And you're in the same miserable fucking spot you've always been, sitting there angry at the world that Darksydephil is successful, and you're not.
So we're sitting here in the same spot angry. Look at this guy. He's almost 50 years old. Now, I've mentioned Detractor Red in previous videos, but I'm going to mention them again. Phil, if you're so successful, why are you begging upwards of 200 times per day? Per day. But we want to be you, right? And why I'm talking about other detractors, I don't want this to slip my mind. Shout out to Lord Diaz, man. He been covering a lot of the PWR madness as of late, doing great work. Go check him out. Also, go check out Draconic Saberwolf Productions. That's a hell of a name. I think he got like 7 or 10 subs or something like that. He's also been covering a lot of the PWR stuff lately. So go check him out. Say what's up. Show him some love. Tell him Uzi sent y'all.
So, to all of my actual positive viewers, to those who support me through thick and thin, thank you so very, very much. This has been an absolutely amazing year, and let's keep it going. Let's keep that level of success going. Thank you. All right.
So he went straight from a cope session right into a little mini beg there. Did y'all catch that? And again, this brings me back to my original point with this guy, because he always talks about how people want to be him. And it's like, even if you point to somebody like who were traditionally hated in the public psyche, like a Floyd Mayweather, at least you can point to that man's gifts and say, damn, I would like to be able to do that. I don't really like his personality, but I at least would like to be able to do what he can do in that ring, right? But when it comes to Phil, there's not a single thing redeemable about him. I mean, even when it comes to fighting games, which he believes is his calling card, or how he made his bones, but he can't even have sportsmanship about that. So it's like everything, even when he wins, he's an asshole. If he loses, he's an asshole. So it's like, why would anybody want to interact with you at all? You're parasitic, not only financially, but also emotionally. Can you imagine being around this guy? He would probably just drain your life force from you. Can't probably feel so empty just by being in this guy's sphere. I can't just imagine their conversations. Seriously. I mean, from the second she wakes up, she probably listened to this guy bitching, moaning, and complaining endlessly. Just pathetic.
All right. Well, shout outs. We got Gumbercules is kick your new positive audience that you got. What do you mean by that? No, what I'm saying is, due to what I did, the time that I spent branching out and doing that kind of crossover content, it allowed me to be viewed by the public at face value, instead of just, oh, this guy's a piece of shit, don't like anything he's doing. Instead, it was like, let's give him a shot because people are working with him.
So where is all this public then? This is not shown up in your viewer count at all. This is not showed up in your views on your video either. And it's not showed up in support either, because according to you, you know who all the quote unquote regulars are. So how can you doing something negative, like trying to shit on Review Tech because you think he's beneath you, somehow shows you in some type of positive light, Phil? No, it just showed you in a less dark light than the light that he was in at the time. Because there's a phenomenon with these lolcows where they kind of shift and go from different ranks depending on what they got going on at the time. Because at one point, especially when Boogie had faked his cancer, he was the number one lolcow for a little bit. But Phil, generally speaking, you're number one, bro. You are. You're the most delusional, because you can look at Wings and you can look at Boogie, and they'll have moments where they have realizations, where they'll tell on themselves and they'll be honest. I hate this. I don't like this. I don't even, they're upfront about what's going on, and they're actually telling the truth about what you're actually seeing. But Phil will write you a damn book about something he know you saw, and will still try to convince you that what's in that book is what happened, not what you saw is what happened. Something is wrong with this dude.
And because of that, a lot of people started coming by and hanging out and enjoying my content. I made a lot of money, and I was able to upgrade my setup, right? And ever since, things are going good. Like, no exaggeration, things have been much better for me ever since that thing. It was totally worth the whole, 7 months of basically nonsense, 7 months of toxic shit and lolcow crap, and now I'm out of it fully and I'm good. So that's what I mean. I'm not saying that there was one new wholly particular audience that came over. I'm saying that in general, that whole thing turned stuff around for me in a big way. And what's funny is my fucking detractors are acknowledging that. They're actually saying, oh, you never hit your goals before. Well, yeah, but I'm hitting them every day now.
Is that why you're playing new mobile games? Is that why? Is because you're hitting your goals on a regular basis now, Phil? But see, this is what happens when you talk too much. Because not too long ago, you were just talking about how you're playing new mobile games, right? Could that be from the influx of new income? Now, look, I'm not in the business of trying to save dents. You know, the dents are going to dent, but I just want y'all to understand where your money is going. It doesn't matter what he tells you. He is an addict. He'll say anything. Your money is gone. Go to Raw Phil's chat. The second his stream is gone, you're going to see a guy on there. I forget their name. I plugged him in the last video, but they'll show you how he's online on that damn mobile game the second he gets off from that stream. So you can try to give him money to stick it to us all you want to, but all you're doing is really sticking it to yourself, because you could be spending that money on trying to elevate your own life opposed to flushing it down a damn toilet.
Content's great. I'm loving what I'm doing. My actual positive audience loves what I'm doing. The support is forthcoming. So how am I the loser in this situation exactly? I'm at a loss. I'd love to hear how I'm much worse off now than before.
Because you're still a begging bum. That's why. Because you're still getting on the internet and embarrassing your family name and manhood in general by reducing yourself to a damn beggar, when you could maybe potentially apply yourself and try to do something else, but you won't even attempt those things. You think that the solution to your problems is just, I should just beg more. Even when it came to the 10-year plan with your own mother, when she gave you that money, you got on here and you talked about how, oh, I cut it in half because my plan went better than I thought it was going to go. What plan, Phil? Nothing changed. All you did was beg more.
Oh, you see, and this is the point too. I'm going to say this too, okay? It doesn't matter what happens outside of this stream at all. Nothing that happens outside of this stream affects me. Do you understand that? Because someone tipped $2 and they're like, yeah, but the casino's doing well too. And good for them. Good for them. I guess people really are ignorant, because here's the deal. Because of the way that I did everything, okay, I won and they win. You have to understand something. This wasn't my attempt to bring them down. This wasn't my attempt to end the casino and close the casino permanently. I don't give two shits about them at all. I don't care if they continue to be successful. I don't care if they're never successful again. That doesn't affect me in any way. I don't want to know anything about them. I don't give a shit. All I care about is what's happening right here, right now with us. That's it. So
then if that's the case, then what is this segment about? Because this segment is about everything that's going on outside of the streams. You're talking about detractors' perception of you and your content. That's what's going on here. And I would argue that's outside of the stream, Phil, right? Didn't you just say that you only care about your positive audience? Then why are you wasting people's time, this quote unquote positive audience's time, talking about detractors when you know they don't care about that? This is a self-soothing therapy session. That's all this is. And Phil is sitting here self-medicating on his own Pignosis to try to convince himself that he's doing much better than what he actually is, while all the while still being controlled by multiple mobile games behind the scenes. And it has not reared its ugly head yet, but at some point it will, because we know Phil does not know how to control himself, and he's going to go crazy. And I would not be surprised at all if he's already going crazy in these mobile games in terms of how much money he's spending, because we know he loves that online validation. He loves it. So you can't convince me or anyone else that you just unplugged entirely. So yeah, are your streams hitting their goals? Sure. But all that means is you're just doing better in mobile games, not in real life, Phil. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.